Hey folks, it's Andrew Kilpatrick here, and today I'd like to show you how to update the firmware on your Carbon sequencer using OS X. So this requires two different steps, and depending on the version of the firmware that your Carbon came with, you may not need to do the first step. So first things first is if you go into your Carbon sequencer onto the Sys menu, you should be able to see the firmware version on the first page. What you're going to need to do is if you have version 1.18 or lower, then you need to do the first step, which is using the downloaded KA update software to install the new bootloader. And if you have later than version 1.18, then you can just go right ahead to the second step and just use the WebMidi tool to update to the latest version. Basically what this is as of about 2018 or so, we made a web-based firmware update tool which supports all of our products. Some older Carbon units didn't come with a web-based or a MIDI-based bootloader, and that's the thing that we're going to install first. So what we need is we need two things to do that. First, we need to look at the bootloader here. This is the actual part that you're going to install. So you're going to click on that and download the zip file for that. And you're also going to click on this, go to the software installation page here, and you're going to download this DMG file. This is for our older update tool that we used to use. And you only need to use this one time. Now, once you've got that, then go into your downloads folder, and you're going to unzip this zip file, and that'll give you this DFU file here. That's the actual bootloader that you want to install. And also you're going to double click on the DMG file, and that will open the installer. And now you can drag that onto your applications folder right here. Now, once you have that, then run that. And it's going to give you a warning because you didn't install it from the App Store. So you can click open. And there's the program right there. Now, this MIDI update feature is no longer needed because we now have a web-based tool for that. So you're going to click DFU update, and then you're going to browse for the file that you just unzipped, that DFU file right here. And now we're all ready to go. So the first thing we need to do is then put the Carbon sequencer in the DFU loader mode, and I'll just show you that right now. Okay. So you should be able to see the Carbon sequencer here. I've got the power cord unplugged, and I'm going to hold down the power button while I put the power cord in, and the sequencer will maybe light up some LEDs kind of randomly, but nothing will turn on. That means that you're in DFU bootloader mode, and the USB cable from the Carbon should be connected to your Mac. And now you should press the update button, and you'll see that it will have some progress here. Things are going in the window, and the progress indicator is moving across like this. Okay, once that's done, you can close that program, and you can even delete it because you shouldn't need it anymore. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go to your browser. Now, you need to use Chrome for this because Chrome currently is the browser on the Mac that supports the WebMidi functions. So now go back to the page you were on before and click on Launch KA Update Firmware Updater, which is going to take you to the WebMidi tool. And now what's going to happen is you're going to say, do you want to allow the web page to access your MIDI devices? Make sure that you've closed other music software and so on before you say yes. Now, if you press allow, what's going to happen is it's going to have a list of MIDI ports here. So what you want to do this time is you want to put the Carbon into the WebMidi bootloader mode. Okay, so I'm going to unplug the Carbon again. And now this time I'm going to hold down the run, stop, and the record buttons and plug back in the power cable. And now you should see a red screen that says bootloader version 1.01. and it's waiting to do this thing. So if you already had a later version, or let's say you've already done that previous process, this is all you would need to do in the future, is plug in the power cable while holding down those two buttons. It'll go into the bootloader. Now what you want to do is you want to select the version that you want here. So this is Carbon Sequencer version 1.23. Select that, and it has some instructions here on how to do that. Press the rescan button, and now select Carbon port 1 and Carbon port 1 from the list of devices here, and then press the update button. And what you're going to see is a bunch of stuff scrolling on the screen here. And there it goes. And it should take a couple minutes to load, and then you're all set. All right, so once it's completed successfully, then just unplug the power cable, plug it back in, and now you should be able to turn on your Carbon. If you go into the System menu, you should see the very latest version. And that's pretty much all there is to it. If there are new versions coming out later, all you have to do is use the web tool, and you should be able to update to the latest version, because now you've got the bootloader on your system. And that's all there is to it. Thanks very much.